Polish and Norwegian, but our guests today, some of our guests speak Polish and English, some of our guests speak Norwegian and English, and some of our guests don't speak Polish and Norwegian together. So we found out that English will be the solution. Welcome, Horgen Friberg from Fafo, wonderful place. You are interested in who is the Polish worker in Norway. This is the question you ask and answer in your doctoral thesis. And the topics you write about are the patterns of migration and employment, the challenges the Polish migrants meet in Norway, and the challenges Norway meets in meeting with the Polish migrants. Welcome.
Okay, is this thing on? Is this thing on? Or I can just, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, I would like to say the same thing that was on the last slide, which was thank you, Alexandra Jamacic, because this was a very, very interesting presentation and a very interesting study. I know that because it's very hard. It's sort of, it has to do with the nature of free-flowing labor migrants. It's a phenomenon that is very difficult to collect good data about. So it's very difficult to get good knowledge about this group. And that has to do, you know, with the free movement in the EU. You never know where people are. So it's very difficult. So being able, new methods for collecting good data about this group is very important, and it's very interesting to hear your presentation. So, and also thank you very much for inviting me. This is a very interesting seminar, and I've enjoyed it very much so far. I work here at the Fafo, Institute for Labour and Social Research, and I have written a PhD thesis about Polish migrants in Norway, which is, it looks something like this, and it's available to download from Fafo's web pages. If you Google my name on Fafo, it will come up pretty high, I think. But I'm not the only one here at Fafo who has been researching Polish migration. There's a lot of people here at Fafo who has been doing a lot of research on this phenomenon. And also after my PhD, there are still lots of new projects, because this is very important for Norwegian society. And we are, as a research institute, we are typically concerned with issues that might affect the labor market and the welfare state and the social issues here in Norway. And the background as to how we came into this was, of course, 2004. And a lot of people here would see that there is a large, with almost 5 to 8 times higher wages in Norway than in Poland, free-flowing labor. There was a huge potential for migration, and as the flows were set in motion and it became clear that Norway became one of the main destinations in Europe, at least in relative terms, it was also clear that this would have a huge impact first on the Norwegian labor market. So actually the first people who started researching this were not migration researchers, but labor market researchers. My background was a bit different. I was an immigration researcher, and I've been working with issues of immigration and integration of other immigrant groups before the Poles started arriving in huge numbers. But also from my point of view, it was very clear that this was a very different kind of migration. Very different from the kind of migration that had dominated close to Norway for the past quarter of a century, which was refugee and humanitarian migration. And the main difference, of course, it had to do with regulation and the institutional context. While all other immigration from outside Europe is strictly regulated, within the EEA was free movement. And also, with all other kinds of immigration, there is a huge apparatus for integration of immigrants. For Poles, there's nothing. There's no integration policy. So it's free-flowing labor and no policy at all. So